Hey there, how's it going? So, this intro is going to be incredibly short, unlike most of mine, and we're just going to get right into it. So, here's a table of contents if you want to perhaps skip past a bunch of stuff, because, I mean, it's not all necessary, but I'd recommend looking at least some of it. So, in typical fashion, we're going to be starting over here at the Bazaar, and it's not exactly necessary to know exactly how the Bazaar works to flip, but it can be pretty helpful, so we're going to just take a look at, I don't know, Obsidian, for example. Now, I would immediately recommend to go over to this little thing over here and change from direct mode to advanced. You're usually in direct, so if you change to advanced, it actually tells you a lot more. The main thing we want to know about this is just the insta buys and insta sells in 7 days. That's pretty helpful for calculating hourly profit, and that's definitely the first thing you're going to want to change before we get into any of this, or else nothing's going to make sense. So I'd change that before we change it. One other thing, we're gonna kind of stop using the bazaar because as you can see, we got like these really weird things called decimals and uneven numbers, which are just kind of cringe, and I don't really like dealing with that. So instead, I'm gonna use 74 tracks of video recording and editing software to make a manual bazaar in my editing software, which will just cause me pain, but it'll look really pretty for you. So like, why do I do this to myself? This is why I haven't posted in 2 months. Why am I? So now that we have our excuses for lack of upload schedule already printed out and ready, we will just actually look at the bazaar for one more moment. And that's just because we want to look at these things. We got the buy instantly, the sell instantly, buy order, and sell offer tabs. These are pretty important because, they're what make up the bazaar, so they're kind of important. I don't know why you'd even ask such a stupid. If you know, you probably use the buy instantly. You can just casually go over here, buy an enchanted obsidian, now that's mine. I just own that. And I'm like, dang, maybe I don't want this, and I can sell that immediately, which, you know, is a really good way to lose all your coins. But imagine you're now doing that with buy orders, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy order one. That'll probably fill up immediately, I'm hoping. My co-op needs to why are you doing all this? Sell a rev catalyst for 20. Why are okay, anyway, our order's filled. Now we can grab that, and now we can sell offer that. Now, the astute amongst you might have noticed something, and I mean, I'm assuming most of you didn't because, like, you're my audience, and I feel like. But in that short process, you can actually see the prices kind of match up a little bit. Because, when we bought instantly, it cost us 1,000. And when we sold for 1,700. And when we buy ordered, we got it for 1,700. And when we sell offered, we sold for 1,800. If you can see the pattern, we're going to look at it with actual, like, nice numbers. So if you didn't, don't feel ashamed. Let's just go to my pain. Alright, so we're gonna be looking as if this was the actual Enchanted Obsidian market, and I mean, I don't think it'll ever look like this, but that's not important, because this is a taste of my pain using editing tracks to make a Bazaar menu. Kill me. So we're gonna be just looking at the buy orders for now, once again for Enchanted Obsidian, and it can look a little overwhelming, kind of like this, when you look at, like, a buy order menu for the first time, but it's really not that bad, especially if we just kind of, like, get rid of 90% of this menu and just focus on one order, and that is the top order. And we can kind of tell that it just makes itself up of the price, and then it also makes a quantity and how many orders. And I mean, that how many orders thing is like, no one really cares about how many orders are a thing. It's never important. So we're just going to look at these two. And let's just focus on the price to start with. The one thing we can notice is it's 1,000 coins. What a nice, beautiful number. Great for me. But let's imagine you have enchanted obsidian, maybe 100 of it, and you want to instant sell it. All right, that's important. You'd sell for 1,000 coins each, and that would directly correlate to how many is in the order, so the quantity. So if you were to execute that instant sell, boom, 100 of it would disappear, and you're done. And the same thing applies for sell offers. So once again, we have this massive sell offer menu, which is, massive. But in typical fashion and repetitiveness, we can delete 90% of this again and be left with just the top order, which, nice, beautiful numbers. We got the price, we got that quantity, and we, once again, I mean, no one cares about the amount of offers, so we're just going to, like, get rid of that immediately because, yeah. And we can, once again, just come on over here, look at just the price, which, let's imagine, we had enchanted obsidian, we had 100 of it, and we want to instant buy this time. Then we'd be able to buy instantly for 1,100 coins. And once we execute that instant buy, it would take 100, go over to the quantity in the order, and boom, take away from it. Magic. The key takeaway here is just to recognize which prices correlate to which price, and those would be the insta sell price to the buy order price, and then the insta buy price to the sell offer price. That's basically all you need to know about this entire segment. And honestly, that entire minute was worthless. This little graph sums it up probably like 25 times better than I could have ever done it with that entire. Let's just go to the next part. So, you're curious about what in the fuck flipping is? Well, there's a few different kinds. I'm gonna put as many as I can list at this current moment up on the screen, and you can yell at me in the comment section if I missed one. My bad. Anyway, I'm just gonna give a very brief rundown of a few of these because I don't really know all of them, and it's not the major focus, and I don't want to spend 20 minutes talking about every type of flip. Then we'll get into Bazaar flip. So auction flipping, two ways to do it, I'm pretty sure. Now, first one, is to just find items that are like this. Then you could purchase these and resell them as the next lowest bin is like 2 mil up. Or alternatively, you can wait to snipe auctions like this one, which is ending in 28 minutes, which is for 19.5 mil, which is worth more. That's auction flipping. Lowballing. This is probably one of the best things to do, but people will run around advertising how much coins they have in their hub. It's basically like the auction house, but different. This guy, imagine this bloke dumbass is like, yo, here's a wither cloak sword. And I'm like, dang, that wither cloak sword is worth like 3 mil. I'll buy it for 2.5 mil. And he's going to accept that because he's impatient, he's stupid, all right? And he's dumb. He's also a pretty funny YouTuber, so maybe he'll make content. His upload schedule's worse than mine. Investing is a bit of a complex thing, and it deserves its own video, but more on that later. But it's pretty simple. At the root of it, you can be like, oh wow, this item 7-day average price was like 900k, whereas this, their current price is 867k. So maybe if I buy a bunch now, maybe it'll go back up to its 900k, and I make 30k per. Maybe that's the gist of it. Did you really think I'm gonna explain Bazaar manipulation? Come on, that's above my pay grade. All right, so you're probably curious, like, what do I mean by how do you find flips? Well, there's a lot of easy ways to do it. You could use a bunch of websites. I'll put links in the description, and I don't know if you don't know how to get to a description. I don't know how to help you there. But at least the method I would use is typically I would go through the entire bazaar, and maybe let's say I want to look for like a book flip of sorts. Wow, it's been so long since I've been on here, I forget where books are. All right, typically something you can look at like charm. You'll definitely be able to buy order 16 of these for 396k, and then you can sell it for 1.3. So like something like that, very easy to find. But then you go and you see there's 11.3k insta sales in 7 days. So you take that divided by 7, that gets it down to insta sales in a day divided by 24, insta sales an hour, and then you can calculate. Then you divide that again by 16 to see how many charm fives you could make in an hour, and that's how you do that. Now I'll put that on the screen because I actually didn't do it beforehand, but then you can take that, and that's just however many charm 5 books you get the profit. So in this case, if it costs us 400k to get the charm 5 book with your buy orders here, we'd then be able to sell it for around 1 million coins profit. So let's say we're able to make probably like 3 or 4 charm books, we could make 3 or 4 mil an hour. And that's just very simple, not the best method, but it does its job. It works. It does what it needs. And that's at least how I would typically find my flips for videos. However, there's a lot of easier ways, as previously mentioned. You can use websites that are a lot easier. They just tell you what the most profitable flips are. They don't actually do book flips though, so that's at least one of the reasons these are a lot easier, or a lot more profitable. You can find a lot better flips. The one thing I recommend if you're gonna try book flipping is not doing something stupid like being like, oh, I'll buy 2 experience 4 books and combine them for 400 or 40 mil profit. It doesn't work like that. All right, I'm sorry. Now, actually doing that though could be a challenge. You don't know how to do it, but at least what I'm saying, all right, for a lot of flips, there's certain ways to kind of be in the market better than someone else, and that's what we're going to go over next. All right. So there are a few different types of flipping, and at least the main ones I think most people will be encountering is just basic item flipping, graph flipping, upgrading the items, which I still consider item flipping, and then book flips. But to do that, we're gonna start with item flips, which are genuinely the easiest because all you do is like go into here, be like, I want to like go to Glacier Tunnels, be like, this got a okay margin or something. I make a buy order for it. I wait for that to fill, and then I can sell off for it. Now that is entirely. These are usually much easier, much lower effort, and it's entirely like, you know, hands off most of the time because it's usually slower items. So you can usually do a faster flip, which is something I genuinely like to do because if you could do a 20 mil flip, and a 10 mil flip at the same time, you're making 30 mil. So that's one of the benefits of Bazaar flipping. So a faster flip example would be something like Hardstone, which I've used this example too many times. It's not even funny anymore, but it's good for a tutorial's sake. So what we're gonna do is go over here, find Hardstone, and make a buy order for a crap ton of normal Hardstone. We're gonna make it for 70k because why not? I didn't even click buy order. What am I doing? Gonna make it for 70k. And you're obviously going to need a personal compactor with the item you want, unless you want to do it by hand, in which case you're a psychopath and you're going to make like 2 coins an hour. But now our order should be filling a bunch. There we go. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Yeah, my co-op is not very active, 23 days ago, bro, once 90, gosh, 80 mil worth of casement feathers. Damn. Anyway, go. My hardstone is already filled, so when you claim it, as you can see, you can get it into there. Now, what you can do, what I've been informed of, that makes this actually a faster claiming process, is you can go flip the order, put it for like 1 coin or something. No one's gonna buy that. And you cancel the order, so now it's all in your stash. And apparently, when you go into this menu, you can claim hardstone much faster. So that's if you want to be like a nerd, you can claim from stash much faster than you can claim from Bazaar. So if you're really nerdy, you could do that. And then for Hearthstone, at least, I'd recommend selling instantly because not many people buy it, but you can sell off for it. And that's kind of a very high effort flip. You have to kind of be in the market doing that because we already don't have an order. So you want to refresh your order, get another one. As you can see, a lot of these people have like 3 million for that price because they know that's going to be sold. They're trying to keep it at that. So that's kind of a very high effort flip, which I usually try and pair with something that's lower effort, maybe a little bit less active, like just a base item flip. You could even just do like fumings, because you could do a few cycles of Hearthstone, and then you're like, oh, my tungsten key filled, boom, and you sell off for that. So that's just some additional profit on the side. I'd recommend trying to find what suits you best. If you're gonna do like book flips on the side, it's pretty much necessary to have a cookie so you can like slash AV. I don't have a cookie because I'm broke. Because if you're doing book flips and you have to go like here and you have to run all the way to the anvil over here, you're gonna be pretty inefficient. But don't let me stop you if you don't have a cookie. Do whatever you desire. I don't care how you flip. I'm just saying how I do because I get a lot of comments that are kind of like, this flip doesn't actually make how much you said, and it's mostly because I don't think people know how to flip necessarily. So yeah, we're gonna go back to whatever the next chapter is because I haven't even decided that. Alright, so I actually won't be doing another section. That's gonna be it for the Bazaar tutorial. I don't want it to be too long, and I don't know if I still have more stuff I have to cover. A part 2 could be in session, but I really don't want to make a part 2 because I probably won't be doing much Skyblock content in the future, and definitely not many Bazaar content at that point because, let's be honest, the Bazaar kind of sucks, alright? When you do 116 videos of the Bazaar flipping and they're all very, very similar, it gets pretty boring and repetitive, so that's at least, that's that. And I don't really want to be leaving without doing much, so I will also be trying to switch to longer form content, and in between doing streams of potential like recordings of longer form content or just games in general. Like, we'll get to that when we get to that, but if you're still starved for bizarre content, then through my Discord I've had the pleasure of meeting a few other smaller YouTubers that do bizarre stuff, mainly two that are Hakoda and Necron. They're both very good at what they do. um, Hakoda's the kind of guy that knows what a candle graph means, and Necron's pretty good at making a lot of flips very understandable. He's got a good subtitling, so if you want to check out those guys, then that's a pretty easy way to continue with the Bazaar flipping, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace.